My vision comes out of a value and an ethic that I, as well as I hope for my peers to honor the interconnectedness between humans, animals, and environment. And so for me, that looks like as someone who's lived in intentional community for years, people living and relying on each other to share resources so that we have less impact on the land. So what that may look like day to day is, lots of meals together, sharing food that's grown and bought locally at like local farmers markets and whatnot. Also, a community where public transit is easily accessible and used, so that folks don't have to rely on automobiles to get around. Community where we don't have to spend lots of money to have fun together, so we get out and use some of the beautiful green space around here. I think other visions are also that small businesses can thrive and they're not pushed out by bigger corporations that have sort of lost touch with the local communities, I feel. So independent entrepreneurs there's spaces for them, for their businesses to grow and thrive, and that there are relationships between those small businesses and community members. Well, what it's meant for me is I've lived in an intentional community with 5 other folks for the last 8 years, and that was a choice to share resources, live in a big old Victorian house, and we share food. We share all the maintenance costs and needs as part of a land trust, which actually takes land off the private market, and that way the cost of the housing doesn't keep going up by the house being bought and sold. It's called Evergreen Land Trust. So part of my vision too is that we would find more ways like that to pull land off the private market where speculation that keeps driving the cost of living up. It's a way that we've been able to keep our cost of living way down and still have the benefit of living in the heart of the city and getting to see and do the things that most other folks get to do, but at a much cheaper price. So that's part of how I choose. I also volunteer. I'm at this event because there's a development slated in Little Saigon that could really do disastrous things to the neighborhood. And so for me, if I'm going to be part of the solution, I need to be part of stopping some of the irresponsible development that's going on. And so that's why I volunteer day to day. So, as I had said, one of my visions for community is a neighborhood that supports local businesses and where people have ongoing active relationships with each other and can live affordably. And so as part of that vision, I have gotten involved in an effort called the Dearborn Street Coalition for a Livable Neighborhood. Unfortunately, there's a 4-block site where Goodwill currently stands, and a lot of community members have used that over the years to keep their lives affordable. Is slated for a 4-block development, and the developers really want to put big box retail into that site. And the city council has some ability to make it benefit the community in a greater way by providing affordable living wage jobs, reducing the amount of parking spots that are there. Currently, developers are asking for what they call a street vacation, which would literally hand over public property to private developers to do what they want with it. And right now what they want to do is put in parking spots. So I've joined this coalition of about 30 different groups throughout the city and many citizens who are concerned about this development. One of our greatest concerns is there's a thriving Vietnamese community there that all of us that are involved frequent on a regular basis. They have wonderful restaurants, wonderful businesses that provide affordable things for the community, and their rents could go up as a result of this. And their livelihood could be seriously endangered. And so as someone who lives in that community, I feel like it's a part of my responsibility as a citizen to tell these developers, here are some tangible ways that you could make this more friendly to the neighborhood. We believe you can develop in a responsible fashion. Here are some tangible ways you can do that.
How does that jive with notions of urban sustainability? How does that jive or not jive with notions of urban sustainability?
Okay. So, urban sustainability. Well, I think if we're going to be sustainable in an urban environment, we cannot maintain the amount of automobiles that are on the road right now. And as these developers are slating development, they're actually going to encourage cars to come into the neighborhood, whereas they could take an active role in having it be a link along the light rail line that's being developed and encouraging people to use the public transit to come to these businesses. They could also have an active part in making it a benefit to urban sustainability by creating living wage jobs where people have the right and the ability to join the union that will help preserve those living wage jobs. They can also support and strengthen the thriving Vietnamese community there by doing things like hiring people from the community. But I guess we're really concerned that that may not happen the way they're slating to develop it right now.